knows, maybe third time's the charm and the inspiration starts to burn. Welcome to Your Rounder Does Music, where today we're looking at the third album from the band 8D6 called Brotherhood of Mutiny. This is the third and final commission and album for my friend Maeve for the band, and it comes after two albums that cover the same sort of ideas and missions. Tribute albums inspired by characters from comics and pro wrestling. The first album was made with the Wrestler Unstoppable character Paragon of Greatness being the subject, and the second album covered the stories of heroes from the comic book team, the X-Men. Now, following that X-Men theme, we get X-Men villains. So, what do we have at the end of the day? Well, I usually go one by one on these albums with shorter track lists, kind of giving them like an EP treatment so I can talk about everything individually. This one, I'm gonna go about this review a little differently than I usually would. When I walked into this album, I had, of course, listened to the first two from 8D6 and came away from both of those with the feeling that there could have been something more than what sort of felt like base storytelling with a slight increase in quality from one to the other. While that trend does continue here on this album with an emphasis on quality increase specifically and a major improvement, especially from the first album, but definitely from the second as well, I've got very little to say beyond that here. I'm gonna still talk about every song as much as I can. It's a steady uptick in quality from the initial journey of the God King, but it can't be ignored that in each of these three albums we see the same structure with just slightly more additions each time. That is what general improvement over the course of someone's career does sound like, and what it should be, general improvements. But this 8D6 doesn't really seem to be going much further beyond the inspiration elements of the music that they're creating. There are a couple tracks here, such as Madeline Pryor, that do stray out of the pack, specifically thanks to more variants. But even with the additions of more unique instrumentals, the structure is still a bit copy-paste from one another. Going back to talking about individual songs though, En Saw a Nerd does start off very promising with the switch up from singing to chanting, but once that intro is done, that structure we've seen for over 10 tracks so far starts to rear its head again. Outro to the song does bring the energy back again and offers up the same type of edge that it did in the beginning, but not so much from point A to point B. It kind of feels like the beginning and end of the song are all that feel like they got the additional quality increase here. This is, oddly enough, followed by what I think a lot of people would call the best song on the album, Nathaniel Essex. Not only does it have the most energy on it, but seemingly the most variance in elements throughout it. The wordless vocalization and chanting in the beginning, coupled with the strong chorus that feels like it could be heard in a movie trailer even. This This Mr. Sinister inspired song is what I wish each song was like when it comes to the 8D6 formula. Equal focus on the storytelling and musical quality. Whereas I do feel like the storytelling is the focus in this. More of a synopsis driven focus as opposed to a musical quality focus. Yet another solid track with Raven Darkholme, a very Hailstorm-esque song with a solid focus on the exact thing I just talked about. Story and music having equal attention all throughout the song. So far in the track list, this one stuck out the most to me in terms of structural elements, so it was a bit disheartening when the next song felt like just more of a part 2 to Dark Home, than its own distinct song. Maybe it's due to the lyricism in both songs following female protagonists, so sort of like two similar stories clashing together, but I walked away from Madeline Pryor enjoying it a good amount while also wishing that it came at a different part of the track list so I didn't immediately have to compare it against the former song. Victor Creed is a song that at first listen is a very nice listen and one that I feel like I'd come back to for its initial vibes, but it falls into the same pitfall I note initially in the review here. It's more the same. It's the opposite effect of the review I did before this. There's a strong middle, weak ending section when you put them against each other in terms of the album. I'll say the brief spoken word part is a nice touch, and it does feel like the weakest addition to a song though when put up against other songs and what they did in that same slot with that same idea. And unfortunately I do have a lot of the same that I noted for Victor Creed for the last song, Kane Marco. It's a fun track, but up against the stronger ones before it, this feels like a pretty weak ending, all things considered. If I could switch around the track list, I'd specifically switch this around with Madeline Pryor to fix two issues with one stroke. This would give it a lack of immediate comparison between Madeline and Raven, and give the album a much stronger finish overall. Overall, I think that Brotherhood of Mutiny accomplishes as much good as it does not so good. with its newer inclusions and reliance on a similar formula even on its third album being both a help and a hindrance. Going into this third one, I was wanting more and got enough to talk about, but nothing in terms of a crazy difference overall. Once again, I don't hate anything here, I just wish that it had more going on. So for those reasons, Brotherhood of Mutiny by 8d6 gets a score of 2.6 out of 5 on the EP scale, and a 5.2 out of 10 on the full scale. And that's the review. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. If you guys want a commission done just like this for any type of album, EP, full album. I've done compilations before, but those have a different price rate than my normal typical album reviews. Hit me up. I have social media shown at the end of the video here. Let's talk. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're staying hydrated. I'll see you next time.